We're almost 3 hours into trading on Monday, November 1st. Hello, traders. Last Friday before the open, I gave you about 7 or 8 stocks to take a look at that I thought would do really well. I checked them all this morning. I'm not going to go through each one of them. I will say that generally they are trading higher. So I wanted to reinforce the whole concept of trading relative strength. Let's take a look at the market. I'm going to knock through another list. I will have a stock that I highlight, but I'm going to show you a bunch of really good ones. So right now we've got the market pulling back. In my pre-open market comments, I warned traders. I said, do not chase this opening gap higher. Gaps higher to a new all-time high have been faded during the course of the last year. Long red candle, long red candle, long red candle. You can see how all of those gains were given back. Now we have a double bottom higher low here. That's nice. Now we know that there's some support in the market. This is when you can go in and buy off of this first bounce right in here. You actually could have bought, and I suggested that in the trading room. I said, listen, that is a big bullish engulfing candle, and we had that on a bullish 10p cross. So this is a key bar. We probably have seen the end of the selling pressure for the time being. So I think the market's going to kind of float around, chop around for the next 2 days. Why? Because we have the FOMC meeting coming out Wednesday. They're meeting tomorrow and Wednesday. The statement will be Wednesday afternoon. Everyone is expecting the Fed to taper. We don't know the timeline. We don't know how progressively they're going to be doing that. Most analysts believe that that tapering is going to end sometime next May, and then they'll be done with it. So they are removing liquidity from the system. It's not typically considered tightening, but it is going to be more restrictive. So that also paves the way for potential tightening down the road. Goldman Sachs, other major institutions feel that the Fed is not going to tighten in 2022. So we still got a lot of time before that happens. Over the weekend, China released its PMI. 49.2 is where it came in. Contraction territory. Lowest level that we've seen since March of 2020. That was at the peak of their economic shutdown due to COVID. Why the heck 18 months later are we not recovering if we're supposed to be in the midst of a global economic recovery? So I think that warning signs like that are continuing to add up. I think that we need to tread cautiously. We do have seasonal strength fueling the market right now. Earnings season has been good. With inflation rising and interest rates remaining low, that means that the returns on bond investments are going more and more negative on a real basis, on an inflation adjusted basis. When there aren't ample investment alternatives that are attractive, you get the market pushing, pushing, pushing higher. So interest rates are super important. We need to keep an eye on what's going to happen on Wednesday. Until then, I don't think that asset managers are going to be placing a lot of big bets. That means that we're going to be relatively range bound Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday until that news comes out. So, market through this new all-time high has been able to float higher. That's good news. We're going to focus on the bullish side, but I'm going to keep my trading short term. Day trading, maybe some overnights if the stock performs really well. So we're going to go into the heavy buying list, and I'm going to knock through it. As you look at it, look at the green arrows. Green arrow means buy, blue arrow means exit. If you ever see a green and then a red, that means that it pivoted from a long to a short. But we do have our trading system working really, really well for stocks, and I've been able to apply the 10p indicator, which we use for S&P futures trading on a 5-minute basis, to individual stocks. So really big announcement last week. You can see IWM, the Russell 2000, beautiful entry point there. It's continuing to move higher. That's where the profits would have been taken on it. We can go out to a daily chart and take a look at it. Very choppy, but a nice little breakout right in there, and that perhaps is fueling this move. Starbucks, big drop after the earnings announcement. You can see that is a bullish hammer, although the stock did finish lower than the open. I would prefer to see a green bullish hammer here, and you can see how the stock is moving higher and filling in some of this gap. If I want to day trade a stock, I have to like it on a swing trading basis. That's what gives me conviction and staying power with my day trades. I do not like this chart. Upward sloping trend line, breach to the downside, bear flag formation below the 200-day moving average. So I don't care that Starbucks looks great today on a 5-minute chart. It's not one that I would be trading. So you can see nice stacked long green candles on the open, and then it starts to fizzle. Anytime you've got heavy selling pressure like that on a daily basis and you see the stock fall apart like that type of move, those sellers are not just going to go away. So if you're a bottom fisher trying to buy these stocks, know that the rug can get pulled out from you at a moment's notice. That's why I do not like trading these. I would prefer to be short this stock, not long it. So let's continue to go down. FUBO, downward sloping trend line. Follow it right through there. We have a nice upward breach. Take a look at that 5-minute chart. Oh yeah, very nice. There's your first bullish flag formation. Stock back up to the high of the day. It's got excellent relative strength. You can see that the stock or the relative strength is above zero. Orange line above zero is good. So here you had nice entry, made money there, got you short there, got you out there, so you lost money right there, and now the system is long. So I'll try and point that out also. SOFI, Sophie. Nice gap up, beautiful green arrow right there. Look at it hang with that position. Beautiful entry. Go to the daily chart. Awesome. There's your flagpole, downward sloping trend line. There is your strength, bullish flag formation. SOFI is your pick of the day. I really like it. Put up the major moving averages, see where they come into play. We've already got those up there. You can see way above the 100-day and the 50-day moving average. I really like that stock. DM, another bottom fisher right in here. Compression, and we have broken through the 50-day moving average. Stock looks actually very strong today. Again, I think you need to be careful trading these, but yes, you can see some pretty decent upward momentum on this stock today, and it does set up pretty well for day trading. You just have to be careful on a reversal, but I like this better than the other chart I showed you where you had a big gap down on Starbucks. This one has been forming a base for a very, very long period of time, and it has been able to break out through that horizontal resistance, so I would be much more likely to trade this, but you have to be careful of the 100-day moving average. It still has room to run. That comes into play somewhere around the 887 level. And you can see the stock is at 840, so it's still got some upside to it. But yes, I would prefer this type of pattern for bottom fishing where you've got a tight compression and a very long-term base that has formed over the course of a couple of months, and then a breakout through this tight compression and above a major moving average. CVS, downward sloping trend line, breach to the upside last week, grind higher, challenging the high. Looks pretty dang good to me. And you can see fairly choppy stock. Go back into that daily chart. You can see in and out, basically a scratch, in and out, a scratch, kind of chopping back and forth. Remember, the market does not have a whole lot of momentum today. I'm going to put that 5-minute chart up so that we can watch it in the background. You can see lots of mixed green and red candles. Now that this base is in, the market bid should be there, but you don't have a market tailwind, so you don't have to worry about the market rug getting pulled out from under you today, but you also don't have a market tailwind. So that means that the stock better have super heavy volume, big technical breakout, and that volume needs to continue. You need to see that relative strength in those green bars continuing to chug higher because the stock is going to have to do all the heavy lifting today. It's not going to get any help from the market. So CVS looked okay. JMIA, big move here. Long green candle stacked. Get in on that one pretty late in here. But let's take a look at that D1 chart. You've got a base. Okay, this just looks like maybe a short covering bounce or something. You're just not able to get through this horizontal resistance, so I'm not a big fan. RKT, you've got a double bottom higher low, lots of price compression right in this area, not a big mover. It looks pretty good today. DCRC, big mover recently, kind of compressing back and forth, not really breaking out very much. NNDM, this is a 5-minute chart. Nice entry there. You can see how bullish flag formation, probably ready for its next leg higher. But typically, you're only going to get about 3 of these. There's a bullish flag. There's your second. There's your third. It may have one more lift higher, and then things should settle down for it. MNMD. That is a tongue twister. And let's go into that daily chart. You can see it's got a breakout here through downward sloping trend line. It's been pretty weak, so not too crazy about that one either. Let's see if we can do better than just one stock. SOFI was the one pick I showed you. I think we can find better than that. So let's go into another search that we've got here, relative strength 30. Market's been doing nothing for the last 30 minutes. Let's see if we can find some stocks that are actually moving higher. NVAX, got to be careful, choppy, volatile, does have some support in here. Not my favorite looking chart, but let's take a look at that daily. And you can see how the stock has been very, very strong today and big volume right in here, right in here. I like that liftoff and I like these long green candles. So yeah, that one possibly could work for today. CROX, Crocs. Love that daily chart. You got a steep downward sloping trend line here. When they're super steep like that, I tend not to trust them as much, but your other trend line comes in like this, gaps up after after earnings on the open, and now it holds those gains. We're starting to creep higher, and we've got to break out to a new all-time high. And I do like this chart. So we'll go back into this view here, and you can see how it's downward sloping trend line, trying to get through it, staying very close to the high of the day. I like CROX. I think it could do well in here. NVDA, nice steady series of higher lows. NVIDIA, and you can see how it's breaking out to a new high, so I like that one also. But SOFI is your pick of the day. Take a quick look at Red Hot and see what's in there. Of course, Tesla, but you know I've been highlighting Tesla almost every day now because the stock has been just on an absolute tear. Gaps higher, still looks good, still super strong. Obviously, you can day trade that one. So be careful. Know that the market is going to be doing a whole lot of this for the next couple of days until that FOMC statement comes out. This is a seasonally strong period of the year. We tend to see nice positive price action in November and December. If we don't get much of a rally in November and December, that could be a warning sign that we're going to have some pretty tough sledding come January 2022. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.